Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Highly Motivated, a Wednesday smoky toke, a talky talk, a chit chat, a community get together. Normally, you can find us live. Normally, we are live Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on all the channels that you can normally find me. But tonight we are doing something that's part of our Cannabis and Educate series. Cannabis and normalize into everyday life how important cannabis is for our bodies and how important the endocannabinoid system is. So here we are tonight, continuing our Cannabis and Educate series as part of Highly Motivated with your host, Oregonji. So let's begin. Let's begin with cannabis and aging. Cannabis and the constant evolution that our bodies are going through. As our bodies evolve to the constant weather changes, climate changes, as we age, we're not capable, I guess, the older we get, of continuing to create new cells for the body. But cannabis can help. See, every cell in your body is keeping time. Not with a clock, not with a calendar, but with energy, with breath, with renewal, with how well it can repair what yesterday changed, what evolved since then. And at the center of that process is something ancient inside of you, the mitochondria. So mitochondria are often called the power plants of the cell. They turn oxygen and nutrients into energy. And here's the part most people don't realize. How well your mitochondria function is deeply connected to how your body ages. Your energy's down, the repairs are slow, inflammation rises. That's the biological rhythm of time. So let's talk about a plant that's been walking beside humanity longer than recorded history. You guessed it, cannabis. Cannabis, not as a trend, not as a product, but as a biological partner. See, modern science has identified something in your body called the endocannabinoid system. We've been talking about it quite often. It's a system that's already in your body. It helps regulate inflammation, stress response, immune function, your sleep cycles, your cellular balance. All of this is happening through the endocannabinoid system. So this means cannabis doesn't just do something. It helps your body to regulate itself. And regulation is one of the quiet foundations of healthy aging. So here's where it gets interesting. Raw cannabis doesn't contain THC. It contains THCA, the acidic form, non-intoxicating, and being actively studied currently for its potential roles in supporting cellular balance, managing oxidative stress, and influencing the inflammatory pathways in your body. This means because one of the biggest drivers of aging at the cellular level is something called oxidative stress. That's when energy production creates more cellular wear and tear than your body can repair. Think of it like this. A candle that burns too hot melts faster. So, all truth. Aging, it's part of it. So let's get back to the mitochondria. So mitochondria don't just make energy. They help decide which cells repair themselves, which cells are able to rest, and which cells reach the end of their cycles. That's not aging as decay. That's aging as I guess, a very advanced decision-making working through the body. So when people explore raw cannabis, gentle preparations, non-intoxicating forms, they're not chasing a high. They're exploring the balance for their body. And balance is where the body does its best long-term work. Let's bring this back to something simple. Let's talk about inflammation. Low chronic inflammation is one of the most common threads in age-related decline. Your joints, your digestion, your sleep cycles, your mental clarity, your energy levels. The endocannabinoid system plays a role in how the body modulates those inflammatory signals, not shutting them off, not amplifying, but tuning them like an instrument, bringing balance to the entire system. And here's something ancient cultures understood. And they understood this before our current lab equipment, before our scientific process. A body in balance ages differently than a body in constant stress. Stress isn't just emotional, it's biological. It shows up in sleep, it shows up in digestion, stomach issues, it shows up in energy production. It shows up in the way that your cells talk to each other. That's big. Look, if you're feeling slow, or if you're feeling like you don't have that energy, it's because your body is stressed. It's because something is going on inside your body, and the endocannabinoid system, the ECS, has to balance it before it can move on. Now, I like to look at cannabis as a ceremony. If you're working with raw or with raw cannabis, or gently prepared in the way that we do it for tea or vaporizing, don't treat it like a supplement. Treat cannabis like a conversation. Choose a moment. The morning light, the evening quiet. Breathe in the intention first. Breathe in the intention of your medication. Because aging isn't just something that happens to you. It's something your body is constantly negotiating. So if you brew raw cannabis as tea, remember, cannabis is fat soluble. So add the bridge, add the milk, the butter, the coconut oil. Remember, cannabis requires a fat for those cannabinoids to attach onto and then travel into the bloodstream of the body. Don't add it for flavor. Add it for function. As your tea steeps, think less about anti-aging and more about supporting the system that supports you. Proper energy, repair to the body, rest, rhythm, vibe. When you drink cannabis tea, don't ask, what will this do for me? Instead, what can I listen to inside myself right now? Because longevity isn't just measured in years. It's measured in how present you feel inside them, how present you feel in the now. This isn't about stopping time. It's about walking with it, with awareness, with care, with intention. See, cannabis doesn't promise immortality. It offers something quieter, a relationship with your body, with your energy, with the way your cells meet each other in a new day, in the way your mitochondria produces new cells or manages the old ones. This cannabis is not a fountain of youth. It's not the total answer, but in combination, it is. This is a practice of respect for the life that you're living and the time that's living inside of you. In these coming days, we will be talking more about the combination of cannabis in your body. Today, we talk a little bit about cannabis and aging. So I use cannabis in different ways, not specifically to slow down my aging process, but to make my now easier to live in, easier to digest my foods, easier to sleep, easier to live in a very hard world where sometimes we need a little bit of a buffer just to take away that stress. And the less stress that your body's going through, the slower you're going to age. I attribute cannabis to my lovely youthful appearance. Look, as silly as I get about this, cannabis and longevity go hand in hand. And using cannabis with the right intention, with the right respect, it's a lifetime commitment. It's a lifetime relationship. I want to thank you all for coming tonight to Highly Motivated, to our Cannabis and Educate series, because that's what we're doing here. We're educating each other. We're connecting communities. We are elevating cannabis, elevating it where the ancients already knew how important it was as a superfood, as a super medicine, as a super everything, in combination, always in combination. So use responsibly, use intentionally, use with respect. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you for coming to Highly Motivated with your host, Oregonji. Thank you for joining us on Cannabis and Educate series. We'll have more coming. We'll see you again. Don't forget, we are live most times. Tonight, we're not live. There's a lot going on. So I wanted to make sure that I at least got this out there. Normally, we come to you Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, live on multiple different networks. But tonight, just a little talk, just a little education. With the world spinning so fast around us and a lot happening and a lot going on, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss this. Now, by the way, if you're watching this now, don't forget, on the 31st of this month, we have a grand opening in Fort Pierce with Goldflower. You got to come check us out. It's going to be amazing. You know, I love community grand openings and get-togethers, so I'll definitely be there. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you again soon. Actually, this Friday coming up, we're going to be live from location in Fort Pierce. All right, thank you again for joining me. Thank you for being on Highly Motivated, and I'm going to go take a mindful, respectful break, and I will see you all later. Thank you again.